part of a three-part series. In this first video, we're going to make just this. We'll have this 2D array, and you can see the ones are all red and everything else is green, the zeros are green. And what we'll do, I don't know why that happened. What we'll do in the second video is we'll rotate this thing around. So the first time these three, they'd then be down here, then they'd be over here, and then they'd be over here. This is going to be a great little video series for anyone who wants to understand 2D arrays. And the third video, we'll look at three-dimensional arrays in 3D space, and we'll see what happens when we do some transformations on that. All right, I have a really simple project here. There's just a main class, which is empty, and then I have the data that we'll use. But we won't use that yet. We'll use it in just a second. So I'll need a second class. I'll just call it array. And inside of array, we'll make our two-dimensional array. And that looks just like this. Array, just like that. I'll call it array. And then inside the constructor, I'll initialize that array. So right here, we'll have array equals new int array. All right, the data we have here, it's a 10 by 10 2D array, but for us, I'm going to put something random in there first, just so you can see what this means and what this means. All right, and what do those things mean? First of all, I'm going to just add in one data spot. So let's say array 2, 3, equals 7. These are just random numbers. I just want you to see where they are. I'm going to make another method, and this method will be to view this array. So public view array, and that will need to be void. Great. So we have this method here called view array, and what we want to do is loop through this array. Now, if you have a one-dimensional array, to loop through that, we write this code right here. For int I equals 0, I is less than array I plus plus. All right, this is the exact same code, and this would be array.length. This is the exact same code which you would use. I made a bunch of mistakes. If you have a one-dimensional array, right? And inside here, I can just print out, then I would just print out this array. But that's not what we have. We now need to loop through this somehow. This right here. This allows us to loop through this. And the inner array, the inner loop, will allow us to loop through that. So I'll make that code first of all, and then we'll talk about it. So int j, because I can't use I anymore, it's in scope still, equals 0. And j is less than array I dot length. All right, what is happening here? Well, this is how you get the length for this right here, the second part of that two-dimensional array. All right. In this case, it's 4. We'll go through 0 and 3. This is important code to remember. This is how you do it. Another reason for that is these can actually all be, in this array, they're all going to be the same length, right? Every single one of these 8 arrays will be of length 4, but it is possible for these lengths to be different every single time. Anyways, let's run this code, the view array code. So we have, let's make a new array class, instance of the class. My array equals new array. All right, and my array dot view array, just so we can view it. Now, there'll be a problem here. Well, first of all, the problem is I'm not printing anything out. But once I do print it out, j, there will be a problem. Do you know what it is? It's just printing in one line. And that's because I'm printing a new line every single time it goes through. But if I take that out, what do you think will happen now? Kind of the opposite thing, right? Now it's going to line this way. My point with that is just that this thing will only look like a two-dimensional array, having width and height, if you actually make it that way, if the programmer actually makes it that way. For us to do that, every single time we go through this, we do want to make a new line. We just want to make a new line. When this array is finished, we want to go to the next one. So I'll do that right here. Just make a new line. And great, we do have our two-dimensional array. It doesn't look that good. We could use a little more spacing. I'll do that right here. Oops. Let's give it a little space. I'm not used to it. I'm using a different keyboard. I'm not used to it. And over here, same thing. Great. Great. So look at our 7 right here. Let's try to figure out why it is right there. So in here we have array 2, 3. This first number is whichever array you're on. So this thing right here is an array of arrays. And that, if you remember that, you're going to really understand 2D arrays. So what we have is we have 8 arrays, and inside of each 8 of those arrays, we're allowed to place 4 things. Those things have to be integers. That's what we're saying with this code right here. And here, we just said in the location 2, 3. So in the third array, because there's arrays 0, 1, 2, in the third array, and this location, we're going to put the number 7. Let's try to find that. So we want to go through all the arrays to get the third array, 1, 2, 3, this one right here, or index 0, 1, 2, whichever way you want to think about it. And then we have the third thing, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And that gives us a 7. All right. Now let's take this out. Make this a 10 by 10 array. And right here is copy off all this code. Great. And let's see how that looks. Pretty good, except we haven't added the colors in. To add the colors in, you have to use something called ASCII colors. They're a bit different than like hexadecimal colors or anything like that. So string color red equals, and you write it like this. I don't know if it's really necessary code to remember, but U001, whoops, 001B, open bracket, 32M. I believe that's red. I might have that color wrong, but it's pretty close. And then we'll need some other color too, or this whole thing will be red. In fact, I'll just add that in first. So here, I'll in color red, and just add that to the thing. Let's see that. And we have added, oh, that's actually green. We have added green. It must be 31, must be red then. Kind of forget. Yeah, so that's our red. But we only want that when this color is when the number in here is a 1. So we'll do that in just a second. But we'll need that other color first. String color green equals, and again, we'll do pretty much the same code. 32. Close that up. We have a problem here. This equals that. All right. So we have our color green. Now we only want this to happen if array I, j if that equals 1. Equals 1. All right, so let's copy this off and just put it inside there. Else, use pretty much the same code, but in that situation we want to use color green. All right, great, let's look at that. Awesome. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to start manipulating this array and pretty much making this thing rotate, like I said, 9 degrees each time clockwise. So I'll see you in the next video.